You already know Fortnite Season 10 was one of the easiest seasons to get wins at first because of the glorious mechs. Luckily, there's a really simple strategy for picking up Fortnite wins even in the game right now in Chapter 2 that not a lot of people have been using besides for the memes. I have to admit one thing though, this strategy is not as easy as this one. Now the trick in this video might not be as easy as using Optimus Prime to get you wins, but you really will increase your win rate by using this. I won 4 games in a row while recording this video, and I've been playing against some pretty big sweats in endgames. One quick thing though, you might have thought this video is about that healing cheat that was exposed last week, but that's not the case at all. The strategy I'm going to be showing you for wins is 100% honest and will not get you banned in Fortnite, so you don't have to worry about getting banned for using this. The point of this video is to give you all a better chance at winning every single game, setting yourself up to get that victory royale. Before we hop into the video, I want to know what you guys think though about the mobility in Fortnite right now. Some people say there's not enough travel to get around the map, such as launch pads or rifts. I personally believe there was too much travel back in Season 10, and the feeling of not having someone landing on my forehead is actually really nice. However, maybe a little extra travel would be nice to have in the game right now. I'm also not sure if you agree with this, but I think winning games right now is easier than any season besides Season 10. I've had many people say they got their first win in like 3 seasons this season with that skill-based matchmaking and bots added to the game. We're not always facing 99 other real players, and depending on your skill level, those players might not be sweaty at all and they might actually be worse than you. Unfortunately, I still get matched up against those great players since I'm also a tryhard, which is why I want to show you that this strategy even works for players around my skill level and for players below. Now, let's dive right into it. I'm going to start out by showing you a gameplay of me in solos where everything goes right. This is not always going to be the case, so I'll show you some other games too where I don't get the zone every single time later in the video. But step number 1 to the strategy is to hang on the bus as long as possible. You don't have to wait until the bus is all the way at the end of its path, but you're going to want to be dropping somewhere discreet away from the bus path. I know this might seem really boring to some of you because you might want to play aggressive, but remember, we're shooting for an easy way to win right here. We're not going for a high kill game. Hot drops can actually get pretty exhausting after a while too, so landing like these can really help you relax if you're just wanting to chill in the game and maybe go for that win. Dropping late will have a lot of players eliminated before you even get down in the game, which is going to serve really well for increasing your chances of winning. Remember, if there's 80 players left by the time you even get down on the ground, that increases your chances of winning by 20%. So that's a pretty good percentage increase right there, and you just got into the game. Notice how that lobby dies down. When searching for a low-key place, try to prioritize spots that have fishing rods and boats. I dropped at Camp Cod in this scenario, which is one of the places I recommend in my top landing spots video. These types of spots have everything you could possibly need for a game. Once you're landed and settled, loot up as much as you can, but don't worry too much about what weapons you have. You should really be focusing on building up your material count. Aim for brick and metal since wood is the simple material to find later in the game. I know this all seems really easy right now, but trust me, you'll be getting the easiest wins of your life if you keep following this strat. If you have a decent material count, start focusing on fishing and stocking up on the healing fish. This right here might be one of the most important steps to winning with this strategy. Fishing is the biggest element of the game added in Chapter 2. It's something that we've never seen before in Fortnite, and it's absolutely crazy for reducing your RNG in the game, and you can't really blame bad loot when you have the chance to go fishing and get whatever loot you could possibly imagine. Players who use it correctly every single game will have a clear advantage to win and are going to have a lot more fun in the season than players who don't. What you want to do is stockpile 4 flopper fish, or you could get 4 slurp fish as well. Floppers are much easier to find though, so stack up 4 of them in your inventory next to a stack of mini shields. You should definitely be using 2 slots for heals if you want to go for the win. This way, if you have floppers and minis too, you're pretty much always guaranteed to have 150 HP throughout the entire match, which is going to serve you so well for winning these games. Your ideal inventory will be an AR, a shotgun, an RPG, and 2 heals. The AR serves as the weapon to spray people with at the end of the game and to switch from your shotgun if you have a pump as well, while the RPG is just absolutely dominant to start off this season. It's also super common as well, so you should not have too much of a problem finding one of these, especially if you land safely. This is where the game is kind of in an iffy zone because the RPG is just so dominant. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. What do you think of the RPG? Is it a little too strong right now? Maybe they should nerf how many RPGs you actually get, like how much ammo, but at the same time, it's just, guys, we gotta abuse the meta while we have it. After you're happy with your inventory, start moving to the next zone as quickly as possible. This is the part where I bet you lose most of your games, is in the middle of the game on the rotations. The rotations without launch pads are truly dangerous if you get lazy with it. I would not really suggest boat travel for solos, but boats can be amazing for duo or squad gameplay because your other partners, while you're driving the boat, they can be looking out and shooting at people as well and keeping an eye out for other teams. This is going to serve you really well and help you not take as much damage. Just make sure you don't have lazy teammates who aren't looking out for stuff. That's always good, but also your teammates can be fishing while you're driving as well, looking out for those little loot holes that are in the lakes and rivers. Positioning is practically everything in this season. If you can put yourself on the high ground in the next circle, you are almost guaranteeing yourself a win, especially if you have an AR to spray with and an RPG to spam at other players. Do not, with this in mind, don't pick fights in the mid game. This is where a lot of people die. This is where I've died the most this season, and this is why I have to recommend it to you guys. Do not, especially if the circle is far away, just avoid every single fight possible. Nobody's going to be able to launch onto your forehead, so you can just build your way out of the fight. Remember, you farmed up a ton of resources to this point. If somebody's spamming you, just keep laying walls and running away. They're gonna have to chase you all the way to the circle, but at least you'll make it there safely. Remember, those fights that take a lot of time in the mid game, if you're building up high and all this stuff, that's just leading you to get killed at the end because you're going to be rotating in late, you're going to take storm damage, and somebody is going to inevitably third party you. So remember, do not pick fights in the middle of the game. The middle of the game for you should be all about stacking up more resources and rotating to the high ground on the next circle. Check out how easy this end game was for me. I even messed up on not taking the very top of this mountain. I didn't think anybody would go up there, but I still managed the third party effectively. Really try to focus on building your base with metal at the end game to really establish yourself. With a base out of metal, opponents will have to RPG you a couple times before taking you down, and this will give you plenty of time to react to whatever they're doing. Now, I know you can still lose these end games, but you should 100% be winning more games if you're following the steps I just laid out for you. Just check out, if you have positioning, an RPG, and an AR, and then you have a shotgun if somebody pushes you, you're going to be served so well, especially if you're playing players around your same skill level. You might not be able to do some of the builds I do in this video, but you'll be able to take out players around your skill level and actually win those games pretty much 100% of the time if you're putting yourself in the right place. Remember, guys, if you spam people, they run out of mats, that's going to serve you pretty much an easy win. So I know some games might not go your way with circle placement and rotations, kind of like they went for me in this video. So I just want to show you that you don't always get wins like this. You can also get wins on ones where it doesn't go your way. My buddy 88 and I managed to dominate a couple duo games in a row by using this same strategy. We actually found the strat to be even easier in duos because you get 2 players with great loot and mats. This gives you a huge advantage over the other teams, so I recommend trying this out with one of your friends, and I promise you will all be winning more games. You gotta do this with a buddy because in duos it gets even easier. Like I said earlier, with the boat strat, you guys can rotate around the map and have the other person looking out and getting shots in on other people while you're getting to the next zone. And if you get that high ground on the next zone, you're going to be really set up. You just have to be aware though, if you don't get zone, you don't get circle, especially off the start of the game where you're farming up, make sure you're rotating early and just farm on your way to the next zone. Don't worry too much if you're not at max wood or max brick at the start of the game. You can always get there because there's a lot of downtime while you're waiting for future circles to move. I think this strategy is 100% going to be meta. You guys just have to make sure nobody else in your lobby is doing this same strategy, because that is the one place where maybe this might get in your way, is if somebody else is doing this. But guys, fishing is the most meta thing in the game right now. It is absolutely crucial to going for wins, and I recommend you guys don't get lazy with it. I know sometimes you're just looking to have fun on the game and you're not always looking to go for a win. You're going for a high kill game, some fast paced stuff, which is absolutely fine. This video is how to win 100% of your games where you're actually going for the win. You're playing a regular solo as if it's the World Cup, and this is the strategy that is going to almost guarantee you that win as long as you play it right and you're not getting a little bit too greedy on your rotations and picking some fights that you might not necessarily need to take. The only thing left to do is to try out this strategy or to come watch me on Twitch. I stream pretty much every single day around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I better come see you in some streams sometime. If you watched the video this far, comment easy dubs so I know you watched all the way. Code RODEYBROS in the shop as always, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.